Hi, everyone. I'm here today with Valerie Salcedo, and she is a classical singer and actually has been drinking FreshPure Waters for a couple of years. She's a graduate
Mhm.
of Fresno State University, holds the title of Miss Fresno County 2011. She can be seen performing with the Fresno Philharmonic, Sequoia Symphony Orchestra, and several organizations in the Central Valley. Her greatest endeavors lie in singing for our military veterans by honoring them through song and tribute. So, hi, Valerie. Thank you so much.
Hi, thank you so much for having me here.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So, I was pretty excited by the post you did on Fresh Pure Waters. Keep my eyes on the social media and what's going on with that pretty often, and it was just such a nice surprise. And I would just love you to share your kind of like, how did you find this water, and why do you drink it all the time?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so about 2 years ago, I was in Napa performing in a show, and any free moment I had, I would go to the Whole Foods or go shopping and just get my normal day to day things. And I came across the Fresh Pure Water dispenser. And I think because it was a different Whole Foods than my hometown, it was laid out differently. So I was able to like really notice where the water was. Whereas the one in my hometown, I think I passed by it a couple times and didn't even know it was there. But I was so excited to come across it. And I said, you know what? I need to fill up my water anyway for rehearsal tonight. So I filled up my bottle, and it was just immediate where I could taste the difference. And I didn't know what it was. I didn't really research it. I just knew it was a water dispenser, and I just got my water. And so I noticed after drinking it for about 2 days that my skin started to clear up. And that was a huge thing for me. It was huge because I had been struggling with like acne and blemishes and just discoloration for years. And I would always think, okay, well, maybe it's the makeup I'm using, maybe it's, just resorting it to other products, never thinking about the water. And dermatologists always say drink your water, drink your water. And I was drinking a lot of bottled water. And it was around that time, about 2 years ago, I really started to get into just living more organically, being chemical free, zero waste. And so I started really researching the water. And so then I started realizing, wow, there are plastics that have BPA chemicals in it. And, I don't want that in my body. And then I start researching what reverse osmosis water was, and, just all the different things surrounding the fresh pure waters. And so come to find out, I don't know for sure, but I kind of tested it by going back to drinking bottled water, because when I went back to drinking bottled water, I started breaking out again. And so
Wow.
yeah, it was just crazy. And so I said, you know what, it's definitely something in the water, and I think maybe I just need a better purification of water. And Fresh Pures, I feel like, just has a really good filtration system that does that for me. And so ever since then, I've been hooked, and been telling friends and family. Now my parents and their household, they have it in their house, a dispenser with Fresh Pure Waters. That's all I ever drank. It's funny because I would go to the theater, and people would be kind and bring me bottled water, and I'd be like, okay, thank you, but I wouldn't really drink it because I kind of had my own bottles. And I was like, nope, I'm dedicated to Fresh Pure Waters. So that's kind of how that came across.
That's so awesome. So I wanted to go back for a moment to
Yeah.
BPA, because a lot of times, we see all over the place like BPA free stickers on different packaging for food and beverages and water bottles. And to give a little background on why, of course it's a hypothesis, that we're not, no, we don't have any kind of health claims or this definitely does this for everyone or anything like that. But
Hmm.
interesting that the plastic bottle you're thinking might have had to do with that, because BPA is an endocrine disruptor, and then our hormonal system has a lot to do with acne. And so when
Mm-hmm.
we could think about that as a potential reason for, if we're disrupting our hormonal system with something we're drinking all the time, right? We drink
Hmm.
water all day long, hopefully,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
We're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Um, then if it has chemicals that are endocrine disruptors in it, then, there's that potential, and that research is being worked on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
and I would say, not I'm not saying that all bottled water is like terribly bad, but like for me personally, that to me was something that I was researching for myself and my, I guess, body chemistry or the makeup of what's triggering, blemishes. But it didn't only go to that with the fresh pure waters. It was the taste that was great. It felt, it tastes clean and filtered water. And obviously everybody goes for that, like a good tasting water. Um, but it makes I was switching my parents' coffee machine to the fresh pure water instead of just, faucet water or some other kind of water. And my mom even noticed a difference in the taste of her coffee. So I'm thinking, so it goes beyond
great. And
just
your mom, she told me earlier she had been drinking the same kind of coffee for years, right?
yes. Oh
So
yeah, she's dedicated to her coffee. And so and she would just get a bottle of water and just pour it into the, the water part. And I, as soon as it went low, I filled it up with fresh pure waters. And that literally like 30 minutes later, she got her cup of coffee and she said, wow, the coffee tastes really good today. And I'm so glad she made that comment because, she noticed the difference in the water. And so it went beyond just like breakouts for me. It was more the taste. I felt better hydrated. I wanted to drink it more often. And so it just had so many benefits for me.
and your mom was using bottled water in her coffee maker, not tap water?
No, she was using bottled water.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Usually we hear that coffee comment once in a while, and usually it has to do with like people are using tap water and they're taking
Oh, yeah.
chlorine through the coffee because that heavily
Oh,
chlorinated
yeah.
taste. I have actually not heard of somebody switching from bottled water like
Yes.
that and
She
noticed
was using
that's really
bottles.
cool.
She would get at least two bottles and then just open it up and pour it in and open it up and pour it in. And then that was her way to fill it up. Yeah, it was from bottled water.
Wow. And then if you think about all the waste of that, right? Like how much
Yes.
you avoid by using a filtered water that's not in bottles
Mm-hmm.
to just
And
for coffee.
oddly,
We haven't even started
this,
drinking water that day yet.
yeah, I know. And that's something silly to think about. It's like, okay, not only are we, being environmentally friendly, because you always hear about, oh, we don't want the bottles to, go to the oceans and all of that. But it's something silly to think about. But, you're not having to worry about recycling these bottles. You're recycling and you're preserving that part of energy or emissions, I guess you could say, by just refilling your own. And it's almost like a win-win. So that's how I see it.
So awesome. Yeah, I mean, recycling takes a lot of energy in and of itself.
Hmm.
And there's some really sad statistic, like 8 out of 10 single-use water bottles don't actually get recycled in the first
Hmm.
place. So
Hmm.
yeah, if we can just like avoid that whole cycle,
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah. And just doing all the research that I've done, I hear how hard it is for plastic to break down. It's not compostable. So that's just, to me, that was like automatic. Okay, no more bottled water. I don't want to be a part of that.
It's so awesome. Okay, so another thing I had that thought of that was just like so interesting, why I thought you were such a cool kind of person to talk about Fresno Waters is that you're a singer, and I'm
Oh
a
yeah.
singer in my old life, and so hydration. Anybody who knows a singer knows everybody. We walk around with our like cup
With
of
your water.
honey water,
Or
lemon water,
tea. Yeah.
whatever, tea, and
Yeah.
hydration's everything. And like in Santa Fe, where Fresh Pure Waters is based, there's a pretty famous opera house. And they actually, just to say how important hydration is for singers, the desert is dry, like incredibly dry, right? And they
Hmm.
have built basically a moat in front of the stage, between the stage and the audience, to essentially attempt to hydrate the singers.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Isn't that wild? And
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure it works to a point, but you can't really
It
compare
does.
the desert dryness.
Yeah.
So can you talk about anything that has to, like, did you notice anything different with your singing in particular with drinking fresh water?
Well, like I said, I was drinking more water, which was always good for, the body. Because I knew it was good water that was going in my body. And so I was just very excited about it. And still to this day, I drink tons of it and I feel great. I'm constantly healthy. My skin is still remaining clear. And so, but with singing in particularly, I use the same water for, my humidifiers. I use it for everything that needs water. And then, yeah, I understand that whole moat concept where you say, they just kind of provide a something of water just to kind of have some kind of moisture in the air. And that to me makes me feel better about using FreshPure Waters, because if I'm able to drink it, I feel very comfortable putting it in humidifiers and putting it in anything that will distribute this very clean water into the air, as opposed to, other systems or other water outlets. So yeah, I would totally, again, I tell everybody about it. So I'm telling all these singers, like, don't drink that, it has BPA, or don't drink that because it's Fresh Pure Waters, like, is great with their filtration. Like, I trust me on this, just try it. And so I definitely spread that out to my singer friends as well.
Awesome. Well, that's all the questions I have. Is there anything else you feel like sharing? I'm just so like delighted that you wanted to talk.
Yeah, no, it's because like I said, I get so excited. Obviously, when you believe in something so much, you get excited when anybody asks you about it. And so, whether it's a product or anything. And so, yeah, that's why on my Instagram, I'm always talking about like Fresh Pure Waters. I'm going to get my Whole Foods water. I always say Whole Foods water because that's where I get it. But
Okay.
yeah, that's where I get and the fact that that's another thing. When I posted about Fresh Pure Waters, I had a lot of people message me asking about well, where do you get that? Or why is it better? Or and so I was so excited, like literally I can show you like threads of me just talking and on about it, like not even letting them talk. I'm like, let me tell you all about it. And so and so to the point where one of my friends was really interested, and she said, I think I want one of these types of filtration systems in my home. And so I guess I was that convincing to her to be like, well, water does make a huge difference in the type of water that you drink.
Yeah, it really does.
Mm-hmm.
Well, awesome, Valerie. Thank you so much. And for
Yeah.
anyone who's interested in just keeping your eyes on what Valerie's doing with her work with veterans, and she does share about not just Fresh Pure Waters, but other products that are, interesting to her. And so you can follow her on Instagram, Valerie Salcedo, Salcedo. And I'm just gonna cheers,
No, yeah, cheers. I
Valerie.
always have this with me. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you. You too.